Fear and love arrived in them at the same moment, not sequentially, not the love first and then the fear as a consequence of having the love simultaneously, as a single compound experience that has been impossible to separate into its components because the components arrived fused together and have remained that way since. The love is real. The fear is real. And the fear exists precisely because the love is real, because something in them understood immediately upon the arrival of what they feel that this is not the ordinary, manageable version of caring for someone, that this is the kind that reorganizes things, that does not coexist politely with the rest of your life without demanding adjustments, that has stakes attached to it that the smaller, safer version of caring for someone never has. They are scared because what they feel for you is large enough to lose. I want to begin with the specific nature of this fear, because fear in the context of love is not a single thing, and the particular variety I am reading matters for how you understand what is happening. This is not fear of you. I want to establish that clearly before anything else. Not fear of who you are or what you might do or how you might respond. The fear is not about you as a source of potential harm. It is about the situation that loving you has created inside them, about the specific, personal, entirely interior experience of having arrived at a feeling that exceeds what they know how to hold without risk. It is the fear of exposure, of having something that matters enormously and that cannot be protected from damage in the way that things which do not matter can be protected. Because the way you protect yourself from a loss you can't afford is to not allow yourself to have the thing in the first place. And this person has the thing. It arrived without their explicit permission, and it did not wait for them to assess whether they could afford to have it. It simply arrived. And now they are in possession of something enormously valuable that they cannot insure against loss. That is what they are scared of. Let me describe what I am seeing because the image is specific. A person who is outwardly functional, going through their days, maintaining the ordinary surface of a life that looks from the outside like someone who is managing fine, who is present in their commitments, who laughs at the right moments in conversations, who performs the ordinary human behaviors of someone who is okay. And underneath all of that, running constantly a specific background process. You, not a thought they are choosing to have, a process. The specific, involuntary, continuous operation of someone who is processing an experience they have not finished processing and may not be able to finish processing with the tools currently available to them. That keeps returning to the same material. That cannot close the loop because the loop cannot be closed from the inside alone. The loop requires you, specifically you, your response, your reception of what they feel, your side of something that currently only has one active side because the other side has not been officially opened. They are running the process without the data they need to complete it. And the running of it without completion is what produces the specific, daily, quietly exhausting quality of what they have been experiencing. The loop requires you, specifically you, your response, your reception of what they feel, your side of something that currently only has one active side because the other side has not been officially opened. They are running the process without the data they need to complete it. And the running of it without completion is what produces the specific, daily, quietly exhausting quality of what they have been experiencing. I want to describe that exhaustion more specifically because I think understanding it will help you understand why what is coming now. The exhaustion of an unresolved process does not announce itself clearly. It does not produce the kind of obvious distress that other people notice and respond to. It operates more subtly than that. As a background drain, a continuous small allocation of resources to the running of the process that is not available for anything else. A quality of being slightly less present in the rest of your life than you would be if the process were not running. They have been slightly less present everywhere else because a significant portion of what they have to give has been going toward carrying this without being able to put it down. Carrying without being able to put it down is the specific quality of what you cannot decide to stop feeling because you did not decide to start. They are carrying it, and they have been carrying it long enough that the weight of it has become something they are motivated to do something about rather than simply continue to manage. I want to speak to the love specifically because the fear is the subject of the title and the love is what the fear is protecting, and the love deserves its own full examination. What they feel for you is not recent. I want to say that first because recency is often what people assume when they are in the early, overwhelming stages of a feeling, as though the intensity of it must mean it is new. As though something this large must have been absent until recently and has simply arrived all at once with its full force. That is not what I am reading. What I am reading has the quality of something that has been present for a significant stretch of time, that has accumulated rather than erupted, that has been building at the pace of real things rather than arriving in the compressed, intense, eventually subsiding pace of things that are primarily about novelty. This is not novelty. This is the specific, settled, completely certain quality of someone who has known how they feel for long enough that the knowing has become the furniture of their interior life that they wake up to. That was there yesterday and will be there tomorrow, and that does not fluctuate based on proximity or circumstance. Consistent. That consistency is what makes the fear genuine rather than performative. You cannot be genuinely scared of losing something that fluctuates. The fear of loss only has real weight when what might be lost is constant. What they feel for you is constant. I want to speak to something about how they have been around you, because the love and the fear together produce a specific observable pattern in how a person engages with the source of both. They have been performing a version of themselves, not maliciously, not as a strategy, as the only option available to someone who is in possession of a feeling they have not yet decided what to do with. The specific, continuous, effortful performance of someone who is managing how much of what is actually happening in them becomes visible in the space between you. You have felt the management without perhaps being able to name it. The specific quality of someone who is slightly too controlled in your presence, who laughs a beat after the natural moment for laughter, who responds with a slight, almost imperceptible delay that suggests the response is being organized before it is offered, who maintains a quality of composure that is real but effortful, that costs them something you can feel even when you cannot see where the cost is being paid. That management is the fear at work, keeping the love from showing in ways that would make its presence undeniable, that would require either of you to engage with it officially. That would move it from the safe, deniable territory of something that has not been confirmed into the specific vulnerable territory of something that has. The management is becoming harder to maintain. Let me speak to why it is becoming harder. Because this reading is specifically about someone who is scared. And scared people, when the thing they are scared of continues to be present in their life, eventually reach a point where the fear itself becomes more costly than the vulnerability it was protecting against. What this person has been paying to maintain the management is their own experience of the thing they feel. Every moment spent managing the expression of love is a moment not inside the love. Every careful, controlled interaction is an interaction from behind a barrier that keeps them slightly outside their own experience rather than fully in it. That exile from their own interior has been accumulating, not dramatically, in the specific, quiet, often unnoticed way that small costs accumulate. Each day of management adding a small amount to a total that has been building for a significant period of time and that has finally reached a point where the total is visible. They are tired of managing this, not of feeling it, of managing it. The distinction is everything. They are tired of managing this, not of feeling it, of managing it. The distinction is everything. I want to describe what the managing has actually looked like in practice because I think naming it specifically will produce the particular quality of recognition that makes a reading land in the right place. There have been moments where something almost came out, not the full declaration, a piece of it, a phrase that started heading in the direction of what is actually there and then redirected at the last moment into something safer. A gesture that was almost too deliberate to be casual and that they smoothed over with the particular social grace of someone who has become practiced at not letting things get all the way out. They have been leaving partial tracks, not as strategy, as the natural overflow of something that cannot be perfectly contained regardless of how consistently they apply the management. The containment is good but not complete. Small portions of what is actually there have been escaping into the interactions between you in the forms that are most difficult to contain, the way they look at you, the specific quality of their attention in your direction that does not quite match the official register of the interaction. The moments of extra care in how they engage with you that exceed what the official relationship would require and that they cannot always catch in time to dial back to the appropriate level. You have felt these escapes even when you have not been able to confirm them as what they are. Tell me in the comments if this person is present in your awareness right now. Not who they are, just whether something in this reading is connecting to a specific energy you have been sensing. Whether the description of the management, the controlled quality, the slight delay, the effortful composure matches something you have been observing in someone specific. I want to know how this is landing. I want to speak to what comes next. Because someone who is tired of managing something and has reached a level of exhaustion with the management that exceeds their fear of the vulnerability has arrived at a threshold, not decided to cross it, arrived at it. The decision to cross is adjacent to the arrival. It is the next thing available. It is what naturally follows from reaching a threshold when the alternative is simply returning to the exhausting management that brought you to the threshold in the first place. Return is not actually available. Not because the management cannot be resumed, but because something changed in the arriving at the threshold. Something in them has updated, has understood from the inside that the cost of indefinite management is a cost they are no longer willing to pay, that the accounting has shifted, that what they were protecting against has become less frightening than what they have been living inside. That shift is irreversible, and irreversible shifts produce movement. The movement is toward you, not with speed, not with the reckless, everything at once quality of someone who has made a decision in a single moment and is executing it before the moment passes. With the specific, deliberate, one step at a time quality of someone who is moving through their own fear while moving, who is scared and moving anyway, who has decided that the being scared is not a sufficient reason not to move. Scared and moving, that is what you are about to encounter. Scared and moving, that is what you are about to encounter. I want to add something to this that I think matters for how you receive what is coming. The specific quality of someone who is moving toward you despite fear is different from the quality of someone who is moving toward you with confidence. Confidence is, in its own way, less valuable as evidence of genuine feeling. Confidence moves toward things it has assessed as achievable. Confidence takes calculated risks. Confidence operates within a framework of self-assurance. That means the moving does not cost very much. Fear costs everything. Moving towards something while scared, while the full weight of what could go wrong is present and registered and has not been reasoned away or minimized into something manageable, requires the specific kind of courage that is only available to people who care enough about the destination to be willing to pay whatever the movement costs. This person cares enough. The movement is evidence of the caring, and the evidence is perhaps the most honest statement of what they feel that has ever been available to you in the context of this connection. Not words, not declarations. The specific, scared, moving anyway quality of someone for whom what is at the destination is worth being afraid for. I want to speak to what you do with the scared person who is moving toward you, because this is specific and it matters. The particular vulnerability of someone who is in love with you and scared about being in love with you and is moving toward you anyway requires a specific quality of reception, not performance, not the managed version of how you receive people, something more honest than that. Gentleness, not softness in the sense of diminishing the weight of what they are offering, gentleness in the sense of meeting their movement towards you with a quality of presence that does not add to the fear, that does not create additional obstacles in the form of your own defenses for them to navigate before they can reach you, that receives what they are bringing with the specific quiet quality of someone who sees what it costs them to bring it and is not requiring them to pay any additional cost in the receiving. Your own defenses are legitimate. They were built for reasons that were real, and they have served you. But this moment may be one where allowing them to be slightly more permeable than usual serves something more important than the protection they offer. The person moving toward you is scared, and the most powerful thing you can do for a scared person who is moving toward you is to make the destination worth the fear. I want to describe what this person looks like when they are finally in the full presence of what they feel without the management. Because I see a version of this in the reading, and it is specific, and I want to deliver it. They are more themselves. That is the simple version of a complicated truth. When the management lifts, when the fear is engaged with rather than protected against, when the love is out in the space between you rather than contained behind a carefully maintained interior barrier, this person is more themselves than they are in any other context. More present, more genuinely engaged, more capable of the specific quality of attention and honesty and full contact interaction that the management has been preventing. The management has been keeping you from the best version of them. Not the most polished, the most real, and the real version of this person in the specific context of their love for you being acknowledged and present between you is something considerably more than the managed version has been able to convey. You have been getting the contained version. What is coming is the actual thing. As we close, I want to leave you with the full picture. Someone who is in love with you in the specific, consistent, can't be helped way that real love operates. Who has been scared of what that love means and what it risks and what it would cost to have it received badly? Who has been managing that fear through the careful, effortful containment of the expression of the love? Who has arrived at the threshold of that management's sustainability and has discovered that the threshold and the fear are not the same thing? The threshold is not fear. The threshold is the end of the management. What is on the other side of the threshold is not the absence of fear. It is movement despite fear toward you. With everything they have been protecting for as long as they have been protecting it, finally held out rather than held back. You are the person someone is brave for. That is not a small thing. That is one of the more extraordinary things one human being can be for another.